Hi, everybody. I wanted to do a little quick video before you get into the next verse because I forgot to push record and I was sharing about the retreat I had gone to. And as you see on the image, the name Sri Vidya is the lineage of the guru whose daughters were there and spoke at the retreat and shared a lot more about the teachings and the Vedic texts that they referenced and the understanding of the importance of the goddess and the relationship that the guru had, as well as how it's another gateway, another portal, another step in order to enhance our connection with the divine. And the statement that she contains he instead of he containing she was very poignant at the time for me as I'm going through this understanding of all is one, um, love is all we need, and that in the image here that's showing the description that was given to to make a connection was that or is that Shiva is the quiet observing God. It's the omnipresent force. It's always there. It's in everything, right? But the spark, the energy that creates and that takes action and has the desire and the emotions and the feelings and response is the Shakti, is the feminine energy. You can't have one without the other. But in order for the creation to occur, that Shakti energy, the goddess energy, is what is the force behind it that is able to allow us to transform and transmute. And I just wanted to share, those little tidbits that I got. I will put the website for Sri Vidya in the description. So if you want more information about it, or if you want to check out their website to see what they offer, I highly recommend for anybody that's looking to, you know, um, just transform and expand and just connect uh, in their own way with the divine. The other thing, I don't know if I'm not sure if I mentioned it, I can't remember, but what I liked about this practice was that they included the mantras, the mudras, the yantras, which are geometric shapes that are related to frequencies and even portals, and tantra, the combination of the three of them, and how beautiful that can be. So when we think of tantra, it's not necessarily like a sexual thing. It is really about a beautiful connection with the divine, and there's a practice for that. All right, so thank you, and we will see you next time. Bye.
There you go. I had never really given thought to how powerful, um, or at least equal power that the feminine energy has as much as the masculine. I've always really leaned into like Krishna and Shiva, that understanding of that power. But
Mm.
they're very much about teaching about um the feminine power. So it's
That's
interesting.
wonderful.
Yeah, and so one of the other things was that was a little bit of what they shared, but the other thing they shared was um that the mantras raise your frequency and vibration. And when you
Mm.
do that with a mudra, it's another frequency. It holds another frequency. And then when you do it with a yantra, geometrical shape in front of the
Mhm.
morti, like you're actually raising your vibration to contain or match, and to bring them into your space, which was very interesting. And the blessing was that they actually did puja to all of us, all the what is the word? Or anybody, all of us that were there. They did the puja, and they did it to us, for us, rather than like to the morti. So it was really, really, really interesting. Very like eye opening. So I wanted to
I
share that.
think that's an amazing experience, and I would be delighted if I could experience the same here in Guyana. Um, I never know about the yantra. I know about the chakras. When you say it with a specific mantra, and you think of the color, it actually elevates your frequency. Everyone has a frequency or vibration. So I know about that. So I'm gonna have to do some research and dive into it. So thank you for that information.
You're welcome. Well, it was interesting because before they started the puja, they had us put our hands on the chakras, the Muladhara, the Saraswati, like everything, right? But the mantras that she said, we had to place our hands at specific times at specific areas. And there was even this mudra. I don't know if you're familiar with it. They call it the
Mm-mm.
reindeer. So is this one? And
No.
we had to
Mm-hmm.
do this at the crown to be able to like open up and be. And there was even a mantra that they say like they did. Um, oh my gosh, it was really, really great. So yeah. And the yantras are really they're fascinating because there's different ones based on the different shapes. And the one that they had, it was like it had it looks like a lotus, like at different angles and different and at the tips, she was telling us that at the tips there were different yantras, like different geometrical symbols, to bring in the different dimensions.
Wow.
Yes. So I'm gonna look into them, but the temple's called Devi Puram, and a lot of the mantras I believe is based from like southern like the mantras from the Tamil language. So it was fascinating. So
Mm.
it's all
I,
connected.
I wish we have stuff like that here in Guyana. Mostly we have to research it on our own, or parents don't really tell us. Sometimes there is, but we're not sure where to go to look for that educated program.
All right, so good to know because they gave us a link. They're offering online information, like online teaching, as
Mm-hmm.
well as like in-person teaching, and then like a real immersion if you, I guess, if you were to go to India. But the online, they
Mm-hmm.
have a portal, like if you could register, it's free. And like each week you would meet and you would learn and they would teach. And I'm telling you, like the stuff that the one lady said for an hour were all things. It was wonderful. It was like all things that I already understood and already knew. But it was nice to hear it from a female perspective because I was expecting like a pandit to come and talk. But and they performed the puja. And at the center I went to, um, it's called a Swamini.
Mm-hmm.
It's like is that a female pandit?
Yeah, we have the Swamiji and the Swamini
Well, she was a Swami.
for the
Well,
female
it was
counterpart.
well, it was her space, but the other two ladies came from India, and I'll share that information with you. But it was fascinating. So
Hmm.
I'm glad I got to
Yeah.
share it so you're more interested. Oh my goodness. And I have to find if they gave the mantra, we were doing it of all the forms of Devi, right? So that's something I'm working on to learn how to start singing that and work on my voice,
Hmm.
the power of the
Can you
voice.
send me the link?
I'll send you the
So
flyer. There's a
yeah.
flyer, so you'll get more
Okay.
information. Yeah, you get
Okay.
some information for them.
We could start off with a prayer.
Okay. I would love to sing it, but you're gonna have to do both.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is the one I usually say before I open the Bhagavad Gita and before I say a verse.
Okay, wonderful. Do you know
Yeah.
the one about bringing light into the darkness? Do you know that one?
Om Asatoma Saragami.
Say that
That
again.
one? Yeah. Yeah.
I
You
like
want me
that.
to recite it?
Yeah, I don't have my little cheat sheet, so if you want to do it, I'll try to join you.
Oh, okay. Om Asatoma Saragamaya. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Mritro Amritam Gamaya. O Lord, may you lead us from untruth to truth, from darkness to light, and from mortality to immortality. Hariom Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Hariom.
Thank you. All right. So in verse or Shloka 2. Prince Duryodhana approached his guru, and he was going to ask if he was going to say something.
Yes. So we're going to 3 now.
Mm-hmm.
Pashyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahitam Chamum Vyudam Drupadaputrena Tava Sisyena Dhimata. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drapada. What does your translation say?
It says, I have two different ones. I'm going to share with both.
Okay.
Okay, so this one says, O teacher, look at this huge army of the sons of Pandu, lined up in battle formation by your intelligent disciple, Durstanduruma, son of Drupada. And the book says, O master, behold the mighty army of the sons of Pandu, commanded by the son of Drupada, your talented disciple. And then I have, oh, you're going to do your explanation, or?
Yeah,
That was it?
and we could do yours first. Okay.
So this explanation says, in this shloka, Duryodhana's concern and seriousness about the Pandava army is evident. He wants to draw the attention of his guru, Dronacharya, to the fact that the Pandava army was organized by a capable and intelligent warrior. Here, the mention of Drupandaporta Dishtrandayuma is significant because despite being a disciple of Dronacharya, he is participating in the war on the Pandava side. This creates insecurity and doubt in Duryodhana's mind because he has to face an army organized by the disciple of his own guru. This reaction of Duryodhana shows that the situation of war has given rise to restlessness and uncertainty about the future in his mind. He knows that the Pandava army is not only strong in numbers, but also strong in its structure and leadership. Thus, the shloka reflects the initial psychological tension of the Mahabharata war, where Duryodhana's concern and caution clearly emerge.
Duryodhana, a great diplomat, wanted to point out the defects of Dronacharya, the great Brahmana, commander-in-chief. Dronacharya had some political quarrel with King Drupada, the father of Draupadi, who was Arjuna's wife. As a result of this quarrel, Drupada performed a great sacrifice, by which he received the benediction of having a son who would be able to kill Dronacharya. Dronacharya knew this perfectly well, and yet as a liberal Brahmana, he did not hesitate to impart all his military secrets when the son of Drupada, Drishtadyumna, was entrusted to him for military education. Now the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Drishtadyumna took the side of the Pandavas, and it was he who arranged for the military phalanx, after having learned the art from Dronacharya. Duryodhana pointed out this mistake of Dronacharya so that he might be alert and uncompromising in the fight. By this, he wanted to point out also that he should not be similarly lenient in battle against the Pandavas, who were also Dronacharya's affectionate sons. Arjuna especially was his most affectionate and brilliant student. Duryodhana also warned that such leniency in the fight would lead to defeat.
So, the guru, it was both of his students that were fighting against each other, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What did it say about Arjuna's mom? I didn't understand that part.
Okay, so Draupadi is Arjuna's mom. It says Dronacharya had some political quarrel with King Drupada, the father of Draupadi, who was Arjuna's wife. And as a result of the quarrel, Drupada performed a great sacrifice by which he received the benediction of having a son who would be able to kill Dronacharya. So, because of their quarrel, King Drupada, who is Draupadi's husband, he performed a sacrifice, and that sacrifice was to be able for one of his sons to kill the teacher, Dronacharya.
Oh,
So one of the sons would have to be able to kill their own teacher, which later we find out it would be Arjuna.
mm-hmm. Now, did the teacher know this?
He knew it. He knew it because of the quarrel. So it says Dronacharya knew it, but he did not hesitate to impart all his military secrets. So he knew it, but he still performed his duty on the battlefield.
Wow.
Yeah. But he didn't know it was going to be Arjuna.
I'm sure he was hoping it wasn't because Arjuna is probably a good student.
And it says Arjuna was his most affectionate and brilliant student.
That's tough.
Yeah. So I don't want to spoil it for you, but I feel like I should say it because I'm too excited to say it. But when Arjuna knew that he's supposed to behead Dronacharya, that's where chapter 2 starts to talk about life and death and attachment.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. Because when we were talking just now about like the student and the teacher, and it's kind of like in your life, like with people in your life, you still do the best you can for them. And sometimes they still do you wrong, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you can't be that mean person back. I mean, you could, most of us do, but um, I think I don't know if I shared part of the reason of wanting to read the Bhagavad Gita is because I am on this journey of wanting to be, I guess closer to God, closer to the divine, and
Mhm.
um, understanding that that's first a choice, and it's not easy. If somebody does you wrong and you're like, and in your mind you have this battle. So when I was talking about the psychological battle, it's all in our mind. But it's still a choice. Like, do we retaliate? Do we retaliate to the person? Are we vengeful to the person? And do you make peace? And it's so
Yeah.
easy to say make peace. But one of the things I learned from schooling is that it all depends,
Mhm.
right? It
Yeah.
all depends on the whole situation.
Yeah.
Because the one answer, it can't fit everything.
Yeah. In psychology, we learn that too. It depends on whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. 100%. That's why
Mm-hmm.
you can't give one drug for every problem,
Yeah.
right? You got to figure out the person because that's what
It's
changes it.
attachment too, because our own family and friends, we don't want to be in conflict. So sometimes we suffer in silence with our own battles in our mind. So it's attachment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the work.
Mm,
Mm-hmm. That's good. All right. This was quick and nice and easy.
yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna put that down. So do you have a test this week or what do you have to study?
Yeah. I have tests for the entire month of June on all the Fridays.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do you have anything planned for today and tomorrow or
And I'm relaxing because I had 3 exams in this week. So I'm
statistics?
relaxed.
And then
yeah.
what else?
Statistics, development psychology, and counseling.
I love those classes. Those are good classes.
Thank you. I'm doing a psychology degree, so mostly psych courses.
Wow. I
Yeah.
love psychology. I went through acupuncture, but I feel like, it all connects. I'm still trying to figure out other people. So after you finish your schooling, do you have a clinical, like where you have to go and practice or?
um, I have to do the 2 year working at GPHC.
Mhm.
And then I might do something after that. They might take me on permanently.
Nice. Is that what you want? Desire?
Yeah.
That's good.
And maybe have my own little license and business later down.
Have like a private
And
practice.
yeah, also doing counseling for students, which mainly I'm focused on. Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, I mean, if you need tools or things, yeah, I usually give tools I tell people you have a toolbox, we're going to put things in your
Mm-hmm.
toolbox. And I've had a couple of people say, where's my toolbox? And I'm like, it's a figure of speech, right? But meditation and deep breathing, there's an app called Insight
Mm-hmm.
Timer.
Mm-hmm.
If they're able to download it, or if you even want to try it now, for deep breathing,
Yeah.
and there's other things on there. It's a really
Mm-hmm.
easy thing to give to people so that they can actually start connecting with that breath. Especially if they feel funny or weird or they have issues about thinking about meditation and connecting. Just saying you need to connect to the body because there's so many things going on. It's in chaos and
Mm-hmm.
you have to go in to be able to
Mm-hmm.
figure it out, you know?
I'll add that to my toolbox because I have many things going on too. I do yoga in the mornings. In the night, I do Pilates. I journal. I take my relaxing shower, which is on a whole different level,
Yeah.
a normal shower. And yeah, so when you're in psychology, you learn all these different type of techniques, you tend to do them and they're incorporated in your life, including prayers, which I was reading about the study that prayers reduces anxiety and depression, which is done for 6 weeks. I don't know if you saw it.
Well, there's a book, I don't know if you heard of Lynn, I think her name is Lynn McTaggart, and
Mm-hmm.
she's done studies about the power of prayer of people at the hospital. Like they have a group who
Mm-hmm.
had surgery and who didn't. And the people that were prayed for who had the surgery recovered faster, healed faster, and improved
Mm-hmm.
faster than the people who had the same surgery and they didn't heal or recover as fast. I mean, they did, but not as quickly. So there's the power of prayer. And there's actually other studies. I don't know if you've heard of I can see his face. Greg Braden is his name.
Mm-hmm.
Um I think he was like a engineer, software engineer, and then became an archaeologist, and now he does things about like ancient civilizations and the understanding of how their philosophy is connected with quantum physics and the power of like thought and intention and belief and how that
Mm-hmm.
at a quantum level shifts things. So that's where the power of prayer, now there's science that proves like thought and intent does have a measurement. There is a
Yeah.
result to it. I'm trying to think. The Insight Time Wrap is one of highly lemon water. People would be so surprised at how powerful lemon water is, just drinking it on an empty stomach first thing in the morning.
Mm-hmm. I take my warm water, and I know speaking to your water has a frequency. When then you drink it and you observe the frequency. We know that from the moon also, but speaking to your water, I'm not a crazy woman. I know it works.
I have a glass thing, a container on our counter, and I wrote the words like love and joy and peace on the glass bottle that I pour
Mm-hmm.
like gallons of water into it, and that's where I drink from. So there is power. And there was a Japanese scientist who did the study
Mm-hmm.
of I can't think of his name, of water, like where he took the water from like a polluted river, and he took the water from like a natural spring, and he froze them, and he showed the shapes of like the polluted water and how it was distorted compared to like the spring water, and how it was like formed and nice. And he also did the same study with water that was listening to like heavy metal punk rock music compared to classical music, and then froze the water, and you could see a big difference. So the whole concept is the fact that if we're made up, not if, we're made up of 75 to 80% of water. So
Mm-hmm.
imagine that when your thoughts are negative or dark or not even at a neutral place, like what it's doing at a cellular level to your body because of the water
Yeah,
in the body.
music does have that effect too. As you're talking about classical music, listening to classical music or bhajans in the morning, even in the night, listening to it, it really takes you to another level. It literally shows on your face. It's physical and it's mental.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've heard of Dr. Amit Goswami, and
Mm-hmm.
he talks about the five bodies. And he talks about the conscious or the bliss body, we're all connected, which is an energetic understanding. And then the super mental, which is your intuition, then your mental body, then your emotional body, and then your physical body. And he talks about how we've been taught to believe that only the atom is the smallest particle, and then it builds up into like organs and then systems and then into the person. And he calls that upward causation, but he says it's downward. He said the
Mm-hmm.
things that we know that we're all connected to, and we don't trust our intuition because our logical mind is trying to make sense of it based on experiences. And that discoherence that we have when we don't trust our intuition creates our emotions to be like distorted, which then can manifest as pain in the physical body.
Yeah.
So you might like once you have a break. And I think he has some videos on YouTube too. But he's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time on YouTube, so I'm gonna definitely gonna watch it.
All right. Well, I'll see if I can find it and send it. I'll put it in the chat.
All right. Thank
All
you.
right. Well, go get some rest. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you.
You too.
All
Hare
right.
Krishna.
See you on Thursday.
Yes,
All right. Good
Thursday.
night. Bye.
Good night.